Rather, I think it's the depth and the endurance, the logistics and the firepower that is the critical requirement for us to sustain the fight and project it forward over time and space. It's what drives the tempo. And so the Army gives us that persistence. That's just a stark reality that all of us learn the more you spend time in a two-way gunfight. And so the other thing we have to acknowledge is the hard truth is acquisitions still run through the services. And so we might talk joint, but the reality is we still buy things as services. And so as Become the Navy USA, we talk about command and control. If the Army doesn't get it right, we're doomed. We're simply not going to have the weight and the mass that the Joint Force requires to do things unless the services get it right. And the biggest of those services that think in those terms from a Marine perspective, or as the article like last week pointed out, the flatless, that wants to do several things all at once and does necessarily none of them well, we need the Army to get C2 right. So if we were going to have a call to action for this, we would say that the Army has to lead not just mass and material, but in integration. You've got the scale, you've got the institutions, you've got the reach, you've got to make interoperability more than PowerPoint. And only the Army can drive that change that the Joint Force requires. It's the simple state, the Air Force and the Navy aren't going to do it. It needs me to say that, and I'm not just pandering because I'm in the USA. The rest of us can complement it, but we can't replace that. Because when we talk about command and control today, as Chris did, we have to admit it's devolved. Quite frankly, we built systems that are optimized for meetings and dashboards. They're not necessarily optimized for decisions and tempo. They're optimized for efficiency, which is not necessarily something that comes out well in combat. We've turned operations centers into business suites. We measure synchronization instead of speed.